Hello, everyone. It's Cam from Arsenal Theory Podcast, and we're going to be going through the badness of the result at the weekend. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. And like we do here, we like to just get straight down to business. No messing around. So Arsenal lose. What went wrong? I actually thought overall during the game, I thought we played quite well. We just seemed to be kind of sort of 10%, 10, 15% off with our final decision making. And I think really that's what it came down to in terms of what we're in control of, is not being able to just find that final pass or make a good connection on a shot. Everything else really wasn't that bad. I mean, we had them pinned in for a lot of that second half. They scored a really good goal. We should have done better on the goal. And I started looking at some of the stats for the game, and I was going to bring up all these different graphs. Then I just thought, what's the point? We lost. We lost, and we know why we lost, because we didn't take our chances, and the refs just decided to have their way with us again. I thought it was clearly a red card on Nketiah. Gets elbowed in the face off the ball. That's a red card, dangerous play. I thought it was a foul on Jesus. There is an argument, a penalty on Jesus. There is an argument to say that it's not a penalty, absolutely. But plenty of those have been given as penalties, even that day. Crystal Palace got a penalty in a very similar kind of situation. And Arsenal have had penalties, lots of penalties given against us with those kinds of fouls in the box. But when it's Arsenal, we don't get them. So we have to kind of deal with that. And obviously Arteta wasn't on the bench either, because he'd been banned for celebrating a last-minute winner against Luton. So clearly the authorities have it out for us. So if we are going to win this league, we're going to have to beat the likes of City and Liverpool and Villa, and we're going to have to beat the refs as well. So it is what it is. But overall, I thought we actually played quite well. We just couldn't find that last bit of quality that you kind of need, that separates you from those other teams. So well done to Villa. If I were their fans, I'd be really, really happy at the moment. But in another day, we could have scored 3 or 4 goals, and we should have done, but we didn't. What I won't have is this revisionism on the game. I've seen some people saying Arsenal didn't turn up, Jesus didn't turn up, Villa deserved the 3 points, and they got the 3 points. I don't think they deserved to win, but they got the 3 points, and they didn't ramrod us like they did City at all. So anybody that's thinking that Villa just had their wicked way with us is clearly mistaken, or just didn't even watch the game really. So, but ultimately, it's the result that matters, and we didn't get it. The last time we lost, we went on, I think, 10-game unbeaten run. That was after Newcastle. Hopefully, we can repeat that again. I don't know if we will or not, but fingers crossed. In terms of what does that mean going forward, in the title race, it's not ideal. We've gone down to second place now. Liverpool are a point ahead. We're still ahead of City, though. It just, like anything, it just reduces the margins. It reduces the margins for error. Will it knock the players' confidence, or will it make them kind of bite back? It shouldn't knock their confidence, because we played really, really well. We just couldn't find that final bit that you need in those levels. Certain players, Odegaard, had a couple of really good chances, let himself down. Saka, I thought, his control was a bit off. He had some opportunities that last season maybe he would have got a shot on target at least, and this time he couldn't control the efforts. So that was a disappointment. We obviously had the handball. We actually did score at the end, but we were never going to get that from the refs either. So all it means is really that people are just going to still continue doubting Arsenal. And to be honest, I would include myself in that as well, because there are issues with our squad where you look at it on Saturday evening, and you go, yeah, those issues were kind of exposed in that game. So I'll give you an example. There's an issue with the goalie. Should the goalie have saved the shot? Probably not. Would Alisson have saved it? Possibly, yes. And you've kind of got to look at that and think, well, we don't have that real top grade level goalie. If we have, he's not performed that way yet. So whilst I wouldn't say it was at fault for the goal, a top level goalie would have got a hand on it or maybe done something with it. So that exposed us. Fullbacks, we're running out of fullbacks. The Tomiyasu injury has exposed us because Zinchenko is having to play, and he's not particularly defensive. He's a midfielder who kind of marauds as a left back. So that's causing us a problem. So that's an issue. Now, to be fair to the club, they tried to solve that in the summer by signing Timber, but he did his ACL in the first game. So what do you do when you're in that situation as a club? And we'll come on to squad planning a bit later on. But that's another problem, is that if we need to set up a kind of hold things tight, then Zinchenko isn't really your guy. And obviously he didn't trust Kiwior after the Luton game to play that role against Villa. So that's an issue. Up front, I like Gabby Jesus, but he's not a gunman. He's not a, touch, bang, shot, back of the net. He's just not that kind of player, or he's not showing that at the moment. And we could have really done with that against Villa on Saturday. So those are certain issues that we've got. And you have to compare those issues to the teams that we're up against. So, for example, Liverpool, one of their strongest points is their goalie. They have Alisson. In terms of finishers, they've got Salah, who's incredible. Defensively, they've got Trent, who is, he's incredible. Again, he's not necessarily maybe the best defensively, but his offensive output is nuts. So, you have to play him, but he's a game changer. So when you've got, and obviously the goalie is incredible, you've got players like that. You're always going to be in with a shout, really. It's just whether they can maybe hold it together defensively. But I think they've got the same defensive record as we have so far. So they'll lose Salah for some games, I think, in the African nations. So, but I don't think it's many. It's not as many as I wanted it to be, unfortunately. So we're up against that. And then obviously you've got City, the juggernaut, and they just seem like they're in a bit of a, they beat Luton, but they made hard work of it like we did. But they're capable of going on a 10-game winning streak. So we are really up against it. And it kind of brings me on to my next point, which is squad planning and ESR. So it's really time for Arsenal to decide, I think, what kind of club do we want to be right now? Because over the last 15 years, we've kind of been not even a nearly club, really, but we've never really pushed the boat out when we really, really needed to. We've always tried to get the job done using the least amount of resource to get that done. We've never really gone over and above on the squad planning, I feel, to really hammer it home that, yeah, we really want to do everything we can to get this title. And there's an opportunity coming up in January to do that. And I don't know where we stand with FFP. I would imagine not great, because we've had to loan David Raya. We couldn't buy him because of FFP. We've won our Champions League group, I believe. So there's good money that we've got there. But can we invest that in January, or do you want to hold your powder dry till the summer? These are questions that the club are going to have to answer. One way we can help with this is raising funds. And I was saying some pretty blasphemous things to myself. In fact, earlier on today, all over the weekend, I was looking at it and thinking, man, we just cannot have passengers in this squad anymore. And that's the likes of Tomiyasu, it's the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe, just players that are perpetually injured, because not only do they take up a squad place, but if you can sell them, that's money. Obviously, we can reinvest on someone who's going to be fit. And I was going to do a video on that, but then lo and behold, Smith-Rowe's in training today, and he's actually on the plane for the PSV game tomorrow. So obviously, I'd rather he was fit. But even me, the biggest Smith-Rowe fan out there, has to look at things and look at the bigger picture and go, oh man, you know, if you can get some money for him, if he's going to always be injured, we're better off just selling him and getting someone in, because it's really not looking good for him at the moment. If he breaks down again between now and the end of the season, we're going to have to cut ties. And I think Arteta said something interesting in this press conference today. He said that it's the most he said he hasn't seen Smith Rowe do his rehab like he has this last time. And he's seen him do a lot of rehab. Clearly, in previous times, maybe he's not taken it as seriously as he should have done, or not been as professional about things. But it sounds like he's done everything he needed to do. He looked a bit leaner. I mean, you couldn't really tell, to be fair. It was just some pictures from the training ground, a little video. He did look leaner to me, though. So that was good. Got a bit of a beard as well. So I don't know if that means anything, if that's going to translate to goals. Fingers crossed it does. Because we could have really done with him against Villa. We can get him firing on all cylinders, maybe getting like 5 or 6 goals between now and the end of the season. That will really help. That will make a massive, massive difference. But yeah, it's what do we want to be here? You know, we need to find a way. We need to find the money, get some deals done in January. If it's Ivan Toney, get it done. If it's someone else, get it done. And if you're not doing that, then get summer lined up. But currently, as the squad stands, don't think there's enough there to take the league off a Liverpool or a City. I think when we get to the final stretch, we'll just get found out again. You know, we're kind of one injury away in several positions of being in a real bad situation. So if anything happens to Saliba, we're in a bad situation. Anything happens to Declan Rice, forget about it. And if something happens to Gabby Jesus, you know, Eddie isn't going to get the job done. So those are 3 definite points of failure, and we need to shore those. We need to shore those up. But that's not straightforward to do. We'll have to wait and see how the club feel about things in a few weeks' time when the transfer window opens. So one good thing about football at the moment is when you have a defeat, there's usually a game pretty quick around the corner, and there is tomorrow. So that's great stuff. We got PSV away, final game in the Champions League. We've won the group, and a lot of the young gunners have gone. So the likes of Ethan Nwaneri, Lino Sousa, Rule Walters, who I really like the look of, as a left-sided player. I mean, he looked really good in pre-season. He looked incredible. Really surprised he hasn't had any more minutes, to be honest. And Smith Rowe's gone as well. Saka didn't train, but I believe he's on the plane. Martinelli didn't go as apparently he's been sick. So an opportunity to rotate some stuff. Be interesting to see if he goes with Raya or Ramsdale. No idea what he's going to do. But really, we just want to kind of get some minutes out of people, come through it unscathed, and then start prepping for Brighton, because we've got Brighton and then we've got Liverpool at Anfield. And we cannot lose that game at Anfield. We really, really can't, because the momentum that Liverpool will gain from beating us and that we will lose from losing that, it could take us a while to come back from it, I believe. So, and we're not going to have Tomiyasu back, unfortunately. Ben White looked a bit ropey on Saturday. Zinchenko didn't really inspire me with much confidence either. So we need to get back to winning ways. So it's an interesting one from Mikel, actually, because like, how do you rotate massively? And then if you lose, you've lost 2 on the trot. Brighton have a really good record of slapping us at the Emirates. So interesting decisions that have to be made there. So yeah, but really the main, like I said, the main kind of overall theme over the last couple of days was just we did it to ourselves, and then the refs kind of joined in as well. That's really kind of ultimately how I feel about it. Here, well, after literally as the game ended, I had to go out. Didn't have to, but wanted to. Went out for dinner with my wife. Just, oh man, just sucks, doesn't it? And Sunday I had like just all these things I had to do around the house and stuff. Well, I really wasn't motivated to do any of it at all. I really wish bad results didn't get me down like it does. And this is one of the reasons why I started doing this, to be honest with you, just to try and find a way to get it out. So it is, like they say, it is what it is. But look, I think it's an early kickoff tomorrow as well, actually, so that's good. So I can catch the 5:45 and then watch the Man United game at 8 o'clock. They're in a terrible, terrible state. I mean, that's one thing, I suppose. It could always be worse. It could always be Man United or Chelsea. I mean, those boys have really got it bad at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching. I started doing some shorts over the weekend, so I apologise if you're getting spammed with loads of my shorts at the moment. I actually really enjoyed making them. So I'm going to keep cracking with that. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please comment, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.